Now, let's take you to the Northwest Province to look into the state of municipalities. I mean, we've just heard about how local government failures are the first step to a failed state. Now, you remember the province has seen service delivery protests in recent months. Cooperative Governance Minister Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma says there's a plan in place to tackle the ongoing water crisis. Dlamini-Zuma and the Minister in the Presidency Mondli Gungubele have been engaging the Northwest Executive Council, this ahead of the presidential Mbizo set for tomorrow. My colleague, that's reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones, is in hot Mahikeng and is joining us now with the latest this afternoon. Pule, good afternoon to you. Maybe first take us through this plan to stabilize the municipality's problems, including, of course, lack of water that's provided and just service delivery in general.
Well, yes, President, you understand the Northwest is one of the provinces that has been plagued by a lot of challenges, including poor service delivery. Amongst other issues, municipalities that have failed to function properly due to allegations of corruption, mishandling of funds, amongst other issues, council meetings collapsing and therefore halting the progression of service delivery in some of these areas. But when we were here today, we get the feel and sense that there is now a plan to have the province removed from Section 100 under administration. We do understand the Cooperative Minister, Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, saying they've submitted a report to the National Council of Provinces that will then be given a date as to when they can make further presentations as to what are some of the justifications why the province should be, removed from that administration, Section 100. They're of the view that there's been progression, and one of the latest developments that we have heard is that there's been discovery of a borehole, which will then be one of the plans to ensure that water can then be transmitted and transferred to other areas, including Mahikeng as well here in the Northwest. But while that's the case, this province has been met by other challenges, which includes infrastructure failure, maintenance, and these are some of the issues that have halted the progression of having clean sanitation water moving around the pipelines transferred to various households and, of course, buildings. And we got a sense that while the province has been challenged, there is some sort of progression as to taking it forward in the right direction. And the Cooperative Minister does, of course, outline what are some of the details that they will be doing from here onwards in terms of communicating with the Premier and adhering to the district model, which will ensure that they can accelerate service delivery. I just wanted to listen to what she had to say there.
We have to be candid and say, yes, there is a problem of water. But it wouldn't be correct to say there's nothing. A lot has been done. A lot more people have water. But as long as there are people who don't have water, it's a problem. And I think the reason the Minister of Water and Sanitation came to meet with especially the district authorities, those who are water authorities, is to see how best they can accelerate. We also, from Cooperative, though we don't necessarily have that core business, but through MISA, we also do boreholes to assist communities, because dams do take time. So boreholes, where we can, we assist with boreholes just to alleviate the issue of water. It's a very important issue, because in terms of survival, it's the second issue. It's oxygen, it's water, it's food. The rest you can. So we are doing all we can, and the Minister of Water and Sanitation has also showed us a plan of how they have to work. But it's not only here, wherever there is a problem of water. So yes, it's being attended to.
That's Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma there. Now, Pule, has the Minister and the Presidency, that's Mondli Gungubele, made any comment about the appointment of the new Chief Justice, Raymond Zondo?
Yes, just in brief, they have pledged their allegiance behind the appointment of the new Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, saying that they believe in Zondo and what his credentials have spoken for him, as well as what they believe can be some of the elements that can support how he will be executing his work in terms of being within the judiciary fraternity. But amongst that as well, they've commented on how some of the opposition parties have reacted to the appointment, and Mr. Gungubele, they're calling it as sickly, saying that he does not understand why there has been some rejection which has been felt by, or rather been pursued by some of the opposition parties, such as the EFF, as seen yesterday through their statements, but also saying that what has been done has been done, and that they also believe that with the nomination of a female candidate, they believe this could also be a stir in the right direction, and they wait to see what will be the president's next move into exercising his discretion right there. We spoke to him earlier on, and this is what he had to say about that issue there.
The President, after the State of the Nation address and the debate and his response, he had a long session with me there of about 2 to 3 hours. He put this point very clear when he was asked what was his intention when he allowed the JSC to conduct. He says, I didn't ask them to give me a judge. I asked them to assess appointability. What is clear is that all the judges, the 4 judges, were what to call appointable, and the president used his discretion to appoint. And the man upon whom the power is invested has taken that decision. It's unfortunate that in South Africa we've got some parties which are, in my view, are very sickly. The most disappointing thing is when parties that have got opportunity to be part of the panel express their views, and the president exercises his authority based on them in that collective saying they are all appointable, and then go and insult in the street. And maybe even spending more than 3 minutes in responding to them, I would be honoring that with too much of a response, which is not necessary.
And Pule, was the comment on the recent action taken by the Deputy Minister of Defence and Veterans, Thabang Makwetla, to reject the Zondo Commission's findings implicating him? What about that?
And remember, just a few days ago, me and you, and of course colleague Heidi, had a discussion around how you had said some also ministers implicated in the state capture report would be actually challenging it, and one of which was, of course, the Minister of Energy, the Gwede Mantashe, saying that he would be taken on review. But now the latest development we've seen is, of course, the Deputy Minister of Defence and Veterans, Thabang Makwetla, rejecting the findings, saying they were prejudiced against him. And now the Minister, of course, in the Presidency, Mondli Gungubele, saying that they support the work of the Commission and that everyone has a right to view their opinion, but at the very same time they will be waiting for that implementation process that will be taking place, and of course the final presentation that will be made by the President. And he gave us comments regarding that issue, and this is what he had to say.
What I want to continue to, whenever this question comes, to reassure South Africans about is that this government committed. I think one of the reasons is that I think we're shocked that this president just took the whole report to the website without editing it, even in one sentence. I think we're still struggling with that because we've never seen it happening. And also giving time frame. When is he going to present an implementation plan of the recommendation? I think the best approach is to look when the president presents the plan of implementation and check, knowing the report as you know it in detail, to what extent does the president move in that direction. So that is my answer to that.
That's Mondli Gungubele, the minister in the presidency. They're making a couple of different comments today.